Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about being Black African, to be specific, again in Germany. And here with me to discuss this today is my friend Precious.
Hey.
So if you're not subscribed, as usual, subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not following me on Instagram, follow me. It's at Wale O Chronicles. And do you want to drop your Instagram?
Precious Odwak.
Okay, so I'll write it down somewhere. That's her Instagram handle. So now let's get into the main stuff in this video that everybody wants to hear about. So the first thing we're going to talk about is language. Of course, if you're in Germany, like, it makes a lot of sense for you to learn the language before coming to Germany. It will make your life so much more easier, right? What do you think?
Yeah, for me personally, I think one of the struggles I'm really having here in Germany is just the language barrier. Like, I wake up and it's getting me so crazy. And the most annoying part is that the language is very difficult to learn.
Tell me about it.
Very difficult.
So for me, I was lucky enough to learn to a certain level before coming to Germany. So it wasn't too difficult for me, and I had been to Germany many times before making the move to Germany. However, for someone like Precious, who had no idea about the language before coming, it was immensely much more difficult for her.
Yeah, lucky you, I would say. Lucky you.
The next point we're going to talk about is punctuality.
Oh my God. Africans.
No African time. Okay, I'm looking at her because even before we shot this video, she wanted to pull an African time stunt on me. So for my non-African or non-Nigerian followers, there's this thing in African countries where we call it like African time. When you say something starts at 12, people will be there like 2 hours later, and they expect that that's the time it's supposed to start. But in Germany, that's a no. If you have an appointment for 12, you should be there like 11:58, 2 minutes before it's time for you to go there. So African time.
I once had an experience actually concerning this time of a thing. And the fact is that there's this guy I actually met. We're not even dating, and it's not that formal. And I gave you a time, fine. I told you, okay, I'll be there, let's say at 2 p.m. And I didn't turn up. And you're just like making the whole thing look like a big deal. Oh, you told me you have to be there by 2 p.m. just because you are German. You guys are taking this thing too serious.
I'm sorry, but I have to come to the defense of the Germans here. Like, people's times are precious. If you give, for me, I get very upset when I give an appointment and you do not show up. That means you have no respect for people's time, and that's how I think it's part of the German culture, and I really respect it and I love it so much. I've even become in this sense, I've also become German. Like, don't you dare be late.
Yeah, I can understand that as well. But also, looking at where I'm coming from, like we're talking about the African time, looking at where I'm coming from, I think someone like me, it would be like very, very hard for me to adjust. But I'm trying.
Exactly.
I'm trying to adjust.
You better adjust.
Yeah.
So are you saying, like, for example, if you have a job interview, you will do African time and come
That's a job
late?
interview.
Like, you treat
It's formal. It's a
no,
job
you
interview.
treat everything the same. Like, whether it's a job interview or it's just meeting with your friends, you treat the things with the same level of respect. That's how I feel anyway. So I think the Germans will love me for this. But no, honestly, it's not about whether being loved by the Germans. I feel like you should just respect everybody's time.
Yeah.
Period.
I'm learning anyway.
So the next thing we're going to talk about being African in Germany is the stereotypes.
Oh my God. This is the part I hate.
We are laughing because, like, the list of stereotypes is long, unfortunately, but we'll just talk about a few ones. I'll start with one. The first stereotype is, like, I don't know, for some reason people think like every African person here, Black African person or people, we are all refugees. I mean, like,
how did you come?
I'm like there are many African people here that have that came either through work or for studies through university or something. Not everybody came illegally. Like, people have really good jobs and are contributing members of the society. So I don't know why you would just see people and think that we're refugees. What do you
Yeah,
have
I
to
mean,
say
like,
about
it's a
that?
very wrong perception because one of the things, like, one of the top things, if I meet a white guy or a white girl, the first question they will always ask is, how did you come? And I'm like,
Really?
for
Wow.
goodness sake, I just told you I'm a student, so how do you think I would come? Then I remember the last person who actually asked me how I came, I gave him one very stupid answer. And I'm like, how did I come? Oh, I just saw myself inside the airplane and then I just landed in Germany.
Actually, luckily for me, I've never had that kind of question like, how did you come? More for me, it's like, where are you from? People ask, and I think that's normal. And like when I say I'm from Nigeria, they look
Yeah.
very surprised. Like, I don't know why. Anyway, the other stereotype we're going to talk about is discrimination at financial institutions or banks.
Mm.
I will talk about an experience I had when I first moved to Germany and I was trying to open a bank account. I'm not going to name the name of the bank, but I think I told my friends about it.
Please don't.
Anyway, I went to the bank, I filled the form online, and then I did the verification. I went to the bank to do the verification of identity and everything.
Yeah.
And when the woman saw me, first of all, she was so rude because like I speak German, well, to an extent, but like when it gets very complicated, I'm kind of lost. Like in the hospital or banks, when it has to do with my money, I want to know like the details. So I first asked her in German, like, my German is not so good. Could we please speak English? And it was a bank, so I just wanted to make sure I understand everything.
Yeah.
And she was like, Nein, wir sind in Deutschland, wir müssen Deutsch sprechen. Like, we're in Germany, we have to speak German. I'm like, okay.
Calm down.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, ma'am. So like then I continued speaking in German to her, and then she was so rude. I gave her all the document that she needed, and she was giving me attitude, but whatever. And then after like making me wait for like 40 minutes, she came back and she was like, sorry, no, they cannot open a bank account for me. And I'm like, why?
Wow.
She was like, because I'm from Nigeria. I was like, okay. Like I just took all my things and I left because I'm like, I'm not gonna beg a bank to take my money. Like why? And she did not realize what she did was discriminatory because you cannot tell me you refuse to open a bank account for me because I'm from a certain country. I don't get it. Like that's discrimination. But I think this experience should be categorized under stereotypes. Yeah, so there are a lot of stereotypes. And for instance, when you speak English to people, some people are like, "Oh, wow, your English is very good." And I'm like, "Yeah, English is my first language, so of course it's very good." Like, and then some people tell me like, "Oh, you don't have an African accent," and I'm like, "Okay, what's an African accent?" Because
So they expect you to speak yellow.
I don't know because
That's
it's
the
a
African
huge
accent.
continent, like it's three times the size of Europe,
Yeah.
and it's like there is the northern people sound very different from the southern, from the eastern, and from the western. So I don't get what an African accent means, and it's just like saying like someone from Russia and you're telling the person like you're trying to compare the Russian accent while speaking English with the British accent while speaking English. It just doesn't make sense
Yeah,
because
it doesn't add
they're
up
very
at all.
different. That's how it is
Yeah.
for us as well. There is no African accent. Just so you guys know. Okay. Next point we're going to talk about is staring. We're very lucky that we live in Berlin. So Berlin is very multicultural and people don't really stare at you so much in Berlin. But if you go outside to other like countryside or like not major cities, in the major cities it's not very common that people stare at you. But if you go to the countrysides and small villages or small towns, people are going to stare at you. And
Wow,
the
really?
staring, like compared to, I talked about staring in my being black in Indonesia video. If you haven't seen that, I'm going to leave the link in the description box. But the staring in Indonesia is different. It's kind of like people are staring at you out of curiosity. Like anyway, that's the vibe. This might be my interpretation, but that's the vibe I got in Indonesia. It was different. But here, people stare at you in a very direct, intense way, and they don't look away.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
and this doesn't happen in major cities anyway. From my personal experience, major cities like Hamburg, I was in Hamburg for a while, Berlin, and I would guess Frankfurt, Munich, I don't know, but I don't think in major cities this happens. But in the outer places, the towns, the small cities, especially those grandmas, Gangster. It's like staring competition. They will stare, and when they will stare at you, and even when you see them staring at you, and you're like, okay, your staring is making me uncomfortable. They don't look away. They don't look away. They continue like.
Yeah.
So, the next point is that fashion is dead. I have to say it. Fashion is dead. It's cancelled. So, for example, here it's not a big thing, for us, like back home, when we're going clubbing or when we're going out, we're like slay. The slayage is like the heels, the stilettos.
Your
like,
makeup has to be on point.
exactly. You have
Your
to dress
dressing
really
has to be
nice.
on point.
But here,
Oh my god.
they don't dress up. Oh, they don't dress up. So like people are going to the club with their sneakers, jeans, like it's very relaxed. I mean, it's nice to have that, but like it's just very different from what we are used to. And like every time we always appear to be the most extra dressed, right? When we go somewhere, like is this a party? Like I'm looking to slay for this situation over here. So the next point we're gonna be talking about is the job opportunity situation here in Germany. Precious, do you want to talk about that, or should I talk about my perspective first?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, so for the job opportunities, I would say from my personal experience that you stand a better chance if you're very well educated. So if you have like a bachelor's or a master's actually, let's not, that bachelor is just like a long thing. If you have a master's degree and you have like some work experience before moving to Germany, you stand a better chance than someone who is absolutely not educated at all. If you're not educated at all, you end up doing like the menial jobs, like washing dishes and all this kind of stuff. But also, very important for the job opportunity situation is that you have to learn the language. It's going to really, really open so many doors for you if you can speak the language. I mean, if you're in a major city like Berlin, where we live, it's easier to find English speaking jobs. But I think there's a level you will get to that you cannot progress past that level if you do not speak the language. That's my opinion anyway. But it's still not, even if you're very well educated, it's still not easy.
Yeah, I mean, from my experience, I think I can relate to what you're saying because I'm not really fluent with the language, so it has become like a big barrier when looking for a job. I mean, you go on the internet, you're looking for a job, you fit into the job description, but at the end of the day, what are they looking for? German.
The next point we're going to talk about, this is specifically for women because we're women, so we're going to talk about our experience. Is dating. Because I brought Precious, yeah. Dating. So, like, of course, I think I should make a video about this, like dating in Germany, what it's like. I should make a video about that. But I would say, as a black woman, you might come across some people that have a fetish for dark-skinned women. I don't know, those weirdo categories. Like, I cannot tell you specifically the characteristics they exhibit. I think I have to do some research. But like they look at you as exotic, something different. So they look at you more as an experience than as a human being to be dated.
Yeah.
This has not personally happened to me actually, because I know how to weed out the weirdos very quickly. Like I don't have time, don't waste my time. Just shift. But I've heard very much that this is actually a thing. So, Precious, do you want to talk about the dating scene in Berlin, Germany, specifically with the German situation?
I mean, talking about the widows, right? I think I have an experience.
I knew it.
I'm always having an experience.
That's why I brought that.
So, I once met this guy. I actually met him online. And then we went for a date. Inside the car, he was looking at me, looking at my skin, and he's like, wow, I like your skin. Can I touch your skin? Why do you have to touch my skin?
But maybe the guy is just admiring the skin, like
Why? Yeah, but I
he's
know
in love.
he's just, he was so much obsessed with my skin.
Okay.
You're looking at me, you want to touch me. I was feeling so uncomfortable. I mean, you've not seen a black skin before.
Well, for me, I want to say, I like to be the devil's advocate, so I'm trying to find reasons why he would do that. I don't know, but like as an African woman in Germany, you should just be aware that you might come across these weirdos, so your antenna should be up so that you can sift them out from the serious one. Of course, there are amazing, wonderful people.
Yeah, we're not
just like
saying,
everywhere else.
of course,
yeah,
of course.
But just beware of the be aware. I can't speak English. Be aware of the weirdos, or beware of the weirdos. See rhymes, see raps. Beware of the weirdos. Okay guys, this brings us to the end of this video. I hope you've been able to learn a thing or two, or just to become familiar with our experience here in Germany. And again, disclaimer, this is our personal experience, our personal opinion. We're not in any way generalizing that this is the situation in every city in Germany. We live in Berlin, so it's very, very different from other parts of Germany, I must say. With that being said, thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. And I will see you in my next video. Cheers!